This is the MGTOWinfinium here with another Infinium Free-Talk. This Infinium Free-Talk is entitled An Analysis of Hubris and Premeditation. My brothers, by now you should be aware of the Takia Young incident where she was shot and killed by police officers outside of a Kroger located in Columbus, Ohio, which Takia's death also resulted in the death of her unborn baby. As of the date of this video, there is great controversy over the use of deadly force which resulted in Takia's death. But to be clear, in my opinion, it was Takia's actions alone which resulted in her death and the death of her baby. In the days since this incident occurred, security footage has been released which clearly shows Takia as well as two other women accomplices shoplifting in the liquor department of the Kroger store. My brothers, after studying the security footage, in my opinion, not only was Takia's crime highly premeditated, it was also based upon the hubris that a pregnant black woman can always get away with a crime no matter what. The following is my analysis of the security footage which I studied. To preface this incident, there are 2 points which need to be made clear. Number 1. There has been a blurring of the facts concerning why the police were called over a petty crime. In actuality, the police were already on scene and were trying to help someone else in the parking lot of the Kroger. Number 2, when the security systems got triggered in the Kroger, most likely what happened was the employee who was monitoring the security cameras saw Takia as well as the police officers in the parking lot, which this resulted in a Kroger employee going out to the police officers and alerting them to the situation. As a rule, Kroger employees are instructed to not directly intervene in shoplifting situations. Also, as a rule, stores like Kroger have extensive security monitoring systems, both local to the store and corporate, which cover all internal areas of their stores, external areas nearby their stores, and limited coverage of parking lots, etc. It should be noted that Takia's car was parked in a handicapped parking space and the police were nearby to where she was parked, making it very likely again that both Takia as well as the police could be seen on Kroger's security cameras. In the use of this security footage, I cite fair use policies. Here now is my analysis. Here you can see Takia entering the liquor area of the Kroger store. As she enters the area, she's putting a bottle of wine into her basket. What she is really doing is trying to trigger the security panels which are off to her right. For reference, if you notice the date, it is 8/24. This is ramping up towards Labor Day. What stores, particularly grocery stores, typically do is to intersperse cheaper wine and beer throughout the store for the purpose of Labor Day celebration, sales, that type of thing. So she's thinking in her mind that if she takes a bottle of wine from the outer part of the liquor area and goes through the security panels, and if it does not trigger, then she can proceed with what she wants to do in terms of shoplifting. Now here, she is basically picking out what she wants, and she appears to be just shopping around, looking around, but she's actually just choosing what she wants to get in terms of what she wants to shoplift, and also casing the area to see when the female attendant gets preoccupied with a customer, so she will not be able to look at the security screen, which is directly in front of the cashier area of the liquor area. When she sees that she's good to go, she then proceeds with putting the items that she really wants into the pink bag that she has. And note how she keeps looking up at the camera and looking to the side to see what's going on with the cashier area. Now note here where the two accomplices come in shortly after she picks up the bottles that she wants. I believe that Takia was in communication with the one that appeared to be on her phone as she entered into the liquor area. You see the two accomplices split apart. One goes down the aisle where Takia is at, and the other goes down the aisle to the back of the aisle where Takia is at. What they're doing here is spotting for her, and as well trying to make sure that the area that Takia needs to move to next is clear of any employees or customers. As you can see, the one accomplice who goes down the aisle to talk to Takia informs her that the other accomplice is walking around the back side of the aisle to make sure the coast is clear. And you can see here, Takia then walks down to the end of the aisle and meets the other accomplice who walked down the back side of the aisle of where she was at. The other accomplice gives her the coast is clear, and Takia proceeds with what she is about to do. Here, it is important to understand that Takia's selection of this location is based upon her predetermination that this is a blind spot in this liquor area. So, for instance, Takia and her accomplices may have made prior visits to that liquor area to determine where the cameras were pointed at based upon the information they gathered from the security monitor, which was in front of the cashier. Takia then proceeds to take what she has in her basket and transfers them into the white bag. She then gets up and walks down the back side of the aisle, again appearing to be shopping, but she is about to take some other bottles of wine as a distraction to what she's going to do with the basket. Here, Takia appears to get online as if she's going to pay for what she has in the basket. What she's really trying to do is to get in visual communication with the two accomplices who are down the aisle where she once was. Again, whether it's verbal or visual communication, she motions to them to come on, we need to go. And the other two accomplices who appear to be just shopping along and everything, they walk out with Takia. As they walk out, you will notice to the right where the security panels are, they do alert and they go off and they get the attention of the clerk who is at the register. As they walk out, you see Takia no longer has the basket. And basically what she has done, she has put the basket down because of the security panels being alerted. This was a deliberate contingency plan because if the security panels did alert, she would then put the basket down and the store employees would go after the basket and not after her. Here, if the contingency or the basket did not work, the two accomplices would do something like trade the bags that Takia had or cause a disruption like destroying a store display and then running out of the store. As you can see, my brothers, this crime, which was committed by Takia and her accomplices, was based upon a considerable amount of premeditation and as well strategy. As such, it is without a doubt that Takia's as well as her accomplices can't touch this hubris played a major role in the commission of this crime. This hubris, coupled again with the premeditation involved, caused all three women to think that they could get away with this crime no matter what. This is even when Takia was confronted by police who had guns pointed at her. The source of this hubris comes as a result of the mindset of most women, not just black women, which is driven by the overriding womanist protocol that they are always right and they are always to be believed no matter what. Simply put, in the minds of womanists, they have a right to not take accountability for their actions even when they are clearly at fault. When the aforementioned is coupled with the component of race, it becomes then another critical component which only adds to the hubris as well as the premeditation of crimes committed by women like Takia and her accomplices. My brothers, I would submit here that if it was not for the circumstances of the police being in the Kroger parking lot at the same time as the commission of this crime, Takia and her accomplices would have likely gotten away with things. Nevertheless, it is clear that Takia's own hubris and actions resulted in her death as well as the death of her unborn child. In this case, if she had just quietly complied with the police because she was cold-busted, it would have been a matter of just going to court to deal with the matter, and as well, serving any sentence if she was convicted. My brothers, the incident with Takia should serve as a warning to we men, in particular we MGTOW men, that women can and will execute well-considered tactical plans capable of doing everything and anything to us because of their hubris. Simply put, a woman's hubris and what they do to men is fully backed by the powers of the feminist plantation state. In other words, women can freely do things like fraudulently put a man's name on a birth certificate to falsely accusing men of rape for just smiling at them. This is why we must be vigilant with our interactions with women at all times, because it is our overall freedom which is at stake, and the fact that sugar and spice and everything nice is nothing more than a fallacy. This is the MGTOWinfinium, and this has been an Infinium Free-Talk. My MGTOW brothers, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay on the MGTOW path, and remember, MGTOW is the liberation of men's minds. MGTOW cannot and will not be stopped.